Hey guys, Sunday, September 29th, 2024. Let's see what the Black Widow wants to do this week. Just want to give you a heads up. I have been, going through some allergy symptoms. My throat is a little scratchy. I've been coughing. My nose is a little congested. Scratchy voice. So bear with me. I'm going to try to get through this video. I'm not going to make it too long. But I do want to do a video because I think that we're at a very interesting area right now on natural gas. So without any further delay, let's get to the video. So first off, I'm narrowing into the October 27th high and the February 20 low. And when you do a scale chart, you notice that we are already right here at the 1/3. We kind of stall at the 1/2, but really impulsed really high. We hit the 1/3, which kind of lines up with resistance there. So you could just pretty much put a trend line and you can see that it's the same thing. So interesting resistance level there. Keep an eye on that. The next one would be from the February 20 low. You can see that we already kissed the 1/1, which is the 45-degree scale chart, which is 45. So let's see if we could continue pushing higher. If we could continue pushing higher and just grind sideways above, this is considered very bullish. I mean, this is already bullish, but then that gas is going to be even in a stronger position if we could stay on this side of the fence going higher. But if she pulls back, which I'm kind of leaning towards that she might have a little correction, but then maybe continue resuming the trend, that remains to be seen. But so far, the most important thing here is that we are right at the 45-degree scale chart. Using our Gann grid or Gann square, we at the 1/6 level. Excuse me, we're at the 1/6 level, which is somewhere around 290-ish. And there's some vectors coming in, which is possible turning points. You see the 4th and also the, you can see the 17th, Thursday. So it could kind of go sideways and maybe get hit, or it could continue going higher. The next level would be on the Gann square would be 307. So keep that in mind. You think it's going to go higher. Andrew's pitchfork. You can see there's an angle from here sticking out, and you can see that we're right there. Trend lines, 45 scale chart from this high to this low. You can see that there is an angle there you want to keep an eye on. Resistance. This is a positive one. From this high to this low, you can see that there's a 45 angle right there. So there's a lot going on right here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. On the Fourier, it's turning point coming in around the 10th, 1010. So can it continue sideways to higher? It's going to follow the Fourier. Possible. But you need to close above that 1/1 or the 45 or the 1/3, whichever you think is going to, I mean, it's all lining up right here. Advanced resistance support 293 is right here. Advanced support and resistance. This is a target if it's going to continue higher, 336 that I have. This is like pretty much harmonics. This is a 2-wing, and you can see that right here. There's what I call like vector energy points. And that's the 29th, Sunday, which is today, and then Monday. So it's kind of like in that pocket. Using the saw, which is kind of harmonics also, same thing from different swing points. You can see that this is a hot zone right here. On the Fibonacci extension, from this swing here, you can see that we're already hitting the 200. Right here. This is kind of hit or miss, but I just like to see it just to see, what it does. I'm just collecting data and see what works and what doesn't work. Nothing there. Nothing really there. This is another one just in case it wants to continue higher. It could probably go all the way to maybe December the 17th. Yes, using this this impulse. And you can see using our four-way four waves here from this chart that I have. You can see that even it comes out as October 1st. A hot zone right here for possible turning point. May not be exactly the day, but it's just probably in this ballpark, which is pretty much this week. Let's go to the next clip. So here's my cycle analysis on natural gas. So this is the solar cycle. As you can see, it turned early on the 16th, pulls back on the 2nd, and then grinds higher to the 24th. So far, it's been grinding higher. So I don't know, is it going to be an inverse where it turns here down and then on the 26th grinds higher? I don't know. But this is what the solar cycle is showing. It is down until the 2nd, which is Wednesday. Now this is the one I've been leaning on also. It's pretty much the solar cycle and this cycle. And this one turns somewhere around here. So a lot of the clusters are all lining here. And this kind of makes sense for a wave 4 or a wave 5. But this all remains to be seen. This dips in pretty much maybe towards like the second week of October, 3rd. That's a nice little pullback, maybe pullback or sideways. And then, resume the trend, but we don't know for sure. We'll have to look at Elliott wave to see if this all makes sense. But so far, a pullback here, and the solar cycle is the opposite. It's like already we shouldn't have it on the 16th, and October 2nd we continue the trend higher. Now let's go into our annual cycle, which is pretty much the solar cycle. You can see same thing going up. This is a 3-year fast annual natural cycle. So you can see that we're here also at that possible turning point. Pretty much maybe Monday, pull back. But this one, using 3 years worth of data, it continues down. Maybe. We don't know what's going to happen. And 6 years of data, it came in early on September, and then around the last week of October, then it goes up. So I am really expecting some kind of correction. I mean, unless it's going to continue, if it's going to continue, then there should maybe there could be a gap open tonight, Sunday, and maybe it'll fill that and maybe continue, or maybe there's a gap and it just continue going higher. Maybe it wants to get to 313 all the way to 332. I don't know. What's that? This is the June high, 312. These are pretty much your key pivots you want to keep an eye on. Maybe it wants to test this one and that one. But if it can't continue going higher, there's a lot of headwinds there. Annual and decimal. This is an annual and a 10-year combined, and you can see that it's showing some kind of correction already coming in. So I'm expecting something this week. Look at 10 years ago, as Gann suggests to look at price action. You can see that on the 29th, which is Monday, it retreats. And I'm kind of thinking this could probably play out. I think the Black Widow is just hovering, waiting to pounce, and she's I think she's kind of waiting for the right moment. I thought it was going to be the 26th, Thursday, but she's wanted to at least, I guess, kiss the 45 degree. And some key resistance levels that I already showed you. So let's see how this opened. If there's a gap up, maybe it fills that, and maybe it continues this way. The annual and decimal confirms it. although it goes a little deeper here on this part. But the reason why it stalls there, because this is the annual and decimal combined. You get an average like that. 20 years ago, you can see that prices just got crazy here. And then like the second week of October, it went higher. So that was 20 years ago for price action. So we'll see how this is all going to play out. I'm kind of leaning maybe a correction or maybe sideways coming up now. Anything else I want to show you? I think that's pretty much it. I covered everything that I wanted to show you here. I think as a bonus, I'll do the Elliott wave. But just remember these two cycles. So one is positive and one kind of corrects sideways to lower. And then maybe this one, another leg higher. So Elliott wave, we're on a wave 3 here. And maybe do the 4 and end up with a 5. Somewhere up here or here. We'll see. Let's go to the Elliott wave chart and see what's cooking there. So this is the last video with Elliott wave analysis. So far, we're still on a wave 3. So let's say it still wants to go higher for the bulls. 313 is a wave 3 target. Pretty much lines up with this high. So that makes sense. And if it still wants to continue higher, for whatever reason, you got a target of 374. Now, if my analysis will play out, it may not. We'll see. If it turns for wave 4, you have 272 as a target and all the way to 261. A couple of things to note is that the Stokes now are getting toppy. We got the black line showing up like here, but you can see that once it starts showing up, she could continue grinding higher for a big while before you get that crossover and then she turns. So maybe she's ready to go and hit a target and a date, like what we say, price and time, and then turn. But we're in that area now. The Stokes are indicating it. We just don't know if it's Monday, tonight, this week. But we have to watch price action because price action is king. It's going to give us clue. But as long as there's volume to the upside, rest assured that she could probably continue grinding higher and ignore all the cycles I showed you and everything else because it's about the momentum. So if you're long, just ride the wave. Just trail your stops. You're not doing too bad. You're doing pretty good. But if she turns, if you don't want to give anything back, you'll notice it because you'll see some big volume kicking in. So it's all about now looking at volume. Make sure you got a volume chart. Look at all the time frames and start seeing if it starts making a lower high and lower low within the hour, the 4 hour and all that. But if it gaps up or whatever and it doesn't want to fill gap, it's like ignoring gaps. I know there's gaps here, there's some gaps here that I could think of, and there could probably be another gap. Don't mind my son, he's playing something, Minecraft, I guess, and he's a little sniffly too. So I could probably continue going higher. Look at seasonality right here. We're at that area now where she should have had a pullback and then grind higher, and it kind of gets toppy somewhere around the 11th, the 17th. It gets a drastic pullback. Maybe this is where the bears start building a position. And then one more, maybe a fill new high, November 11th. Oh man, my son is playing here. It's interesting. He woke up super early today, and now he wants to join daddy with a video, and we're both coughing and sniffling, sharing the bugs. But anyway, go get a tissue. So this is pretty much what the natural seasonality is doing, and then from here, November 11th, it starts kind of fading. So as long as you keep all this in mind, she could keep going, you know, and getting all these things, but there's going to be that one where it just turns and then it goes down. And if that's just going to play out, she may even ignore the seasonality where it normally goes down and she just continues ripping higher. So those are the things you want to kind of factor in. But where I'm leaning at right now is that possible a turning point. But if she doesn't give it, just continue trailing your stop and continue grinding higher. And if she does pull back, these are, you know, reasonable targets. I can't see it pull back deep unless she wants to fill all this stuff. But, you know, then she's in the middle of a wave 3 and not completing some stuff. There's a lot of liquidity up here that she may want to get. So maybe she'll go down here, get some aggressive bulls or bears. And then when she comes back up, she gets all these stops and then finally exhausts herself because she's right now starting where she's starting to get exhausted, as you can see here. So this could probably play out. And once you get some kind of price action like that and it goes down like that, that's probably, and it could probably happen here. It could probably happen here. It's too early here, but something like that. And then if it's going to follow the seasonality, if it doesn't do that, by November, December, she's doing something totally different and we'll just have to keep monitoring her. That's why I look at different cycles like the one I showed you in red and the yellow. You got the solar cycle, and then that's another cycle that I'm watching to see if it's going to follow that. I'm going to sign out. Wish me well. I'll keep watching the natural gas. I'll try to chime in here and there when I can. Hopefully I feel better. And I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that gas.